That's a lot of money. I mean, you see how much money he gave us. You remember how much Gentleman Alfred gave to us in the lighthouse. Gentlemen give a lot of money. How about that? Alright, you're worthy of the Storm Badge. We received the Storm Badge from Chuck. Did you cause that storm with the fist that hides under your beard? Oh, you don't have a beard. Think of a different Chuck. Storm Badge lets you fly to any town or city you've already visited. Here, take this too. TMO1. That is Focus Punch. Doesn't land if your foe attacked you first, but it's very powerful if it manages to hit. If you want to use Focus Punch, I recommend using that Power Herb, as it will remove the charge up and just allow you to use, Focus Punch. It's a very powerful move. If you can use it, it does a lot of damage. For the next gym, it actually will be pretty good, though I recommend a couple of other Pokemon over using a Focus Punch user. We beat Chuck, and now his wife gives us this HM02 Fly. Now, I may have said that Callion will no longer be a mainstay of our battle team. However, it won't be departing us just yet. Fly is a great move, and while we aren't going to be using him for battles anytime soon, he will be a great Pokemon to fly us around. He'll remain useful to us even though he isn't going to be battling much. He's still going to be great as just a companion to have. That and Yawn is going to be good for a couple of battles coming up. I'd like to have him, though not as a damage dealer. He's going to be playing a bit of support and just utility now. Yeah, a lot of people probably were wanting him to have his time out of the spotlight just because he was hogging it against Morty, against Bugsy, and against Chuck right now. As in, the entire final battle was just him wrecking the gym and getting wrecked the first time, but then utterly destroying the second time. Well, utterly destroying Poliwrath with just hacks. Yeah, I wish I taught it. I wish I had given it the King's Rock, as it does stack to a total of 80% flinch. It's ridiculous, though I actually just forgot about it. If you want to use it, it's fun. Haven't used it personally, and this is also the last generation that applies, as in Generation 5. They nerfed the King's Rock to no longer stack with the additional boost. It doesn't stack with already flinching moves. So if a move like Extrasensory Headbutt goes off, it will not have a 40% base flinch chance. It'll stay just the base 30. Alright, we are heading back to Olivine City. Fly us away, Callion. Great work, little buddy. Such impressive that even with those little wings, he can fly us so far. That is one of the reasons I wanted to recommend getting a Pokemon that can fly. It'll be extremely valuable to you, just getting here quick. Now that we have opened up that gate, and I apologize for not going up here sooner, it's just I knew that this elevator didn't take you somewhere, and it didn't take you anywhere you could do anything, and it was just faster to go. Alright, we have reached the top of the lighthouse. And sorry, your friend isn't here right now to greet you, but you have Callion. Will that medicine cure Amphi? Yes, it will. We handed over the secret potion. Also, if you look closely at her little ear thingy, her little head thingies, they clip into the solid glass thing, as well as they kind of look like Amphross's little ears. Amphi will not take anything from anyone but me. Aww. Amphi, how are you feeling? Paloo, paloo! And now we see it live up to its name as the Light Pokemon. Oh, I'm so relieved. Just so wonderful. Thank you so very, very much. I will return to the gym. Why'd you just go down the long way instead of this way? Yes, as she has just said, we can now go fight her in the gym. This is honestly one of the fastest gym clearing requirements, as you just have to go here, just go here, after you get go get the medicine for Amphi, go to Cianwood. There's no requirement there's no prerequisite to battle Chuck. You actually can battle Chuck even before going to the lighthouse. I don't recommend doing that, but it is possible. And there's Boba. Oh, hi Maxis, this is the Warden Boba. So, you related to Django, or... Yeah, keep messing up that joke. So I've kept you waiting. We finally opened the Safari Zone. Do you want to know where it is? You know the gate cavern outside of Cianwood? Go through there and walk for a short while, and you'll soon see the Safari Zone. You little ways out that. If you're a little out of the way, we are a little out of the way, not your. But please come visit. I actually do want to go visit Boba at the Safari Zone. There is a certain Pokemon I would actually like to add to my team there. And Callion, let's fly there. That's also one of the reasons I didn't battle many of the trainers both inside the lighthouse and on Route 40 and 41, as the Pokemon I want to catch here, well, not catch at the Safari Zone, but catch at the Safari Zone, not catch here, but at the Safari Zone, I should say, is going to be a bit low-leveled, and I would like to have the ability to add it to my team and level it up soon. We are at Cliff Cave. Everything is thrilling. Explore to find wild Pokemon. Warden Boba Safari Zone up and running. Did you know there's a Safari Zone? Did you know there's a Safari Zone just around the corner? It's really fun. It's many different kinds of Pokemon, and it's all you can catch. There's no reason to not go, right? Just around the corner. That is a lie. It is not just around the corner in air quotes. It's not terribly long, but it is a bit of a walk. Also, how have we not encountered any Pokemon yet? Can you not encounter Pokemon in this cave? We're on Route 47. We can encounter some new Pokemon on this route, but not actually battle them yet. They're in inaccessible locations to us at the present. Right, just sneak by this guy. Also, should probably switch Megalon into the front. I don't recommend you go fight Jasmine right now, as she is honestly a bit more difficult than most gym leaders in my opinion, just because of what her team is. If you don't want to cheese her battle, because her battle is extremely easy to cheese. Alright, inside this cliff cave, we have one new encounter. At night, 5% of the time, you will find Misdreavus. This is a bit of an underwhelming Pokemon, especially even more so than a lot of the other Pokemon that got Sinnoh evolutions, as on its own, Misdreavus has okay stats, but it is outshined as a ghost type by both Gengar and more specifically Haunter, which even if you can't trade to get a Gengar, Haunter still does significantly outstat it. It's a good special attacker with decent special defense and okay speed, though there are other Pokemon that fulfill these roles. Its main thing that it can do is status moves. Moves like Spite, Grudge, and more specifically Pain Split are kind of its bread and butter. Pain Split is an interesting move in that it adds up your HP with the opponent's HP, divides it by 2, and both Pokemon go to that HP. Very useful on a Pokemon with rather low HP, or even when you're at low health, to easily just drain an opponent's HP and restore your own. It's also pretty useful against some legendary Pokemon. We haven't encountered any legendaries that are in a sustained battle yet, but in some of those sustained battles, a big problem is fainting out. And while Misdreavus doesn't have the best HP out there, when a legendary is at a sliver of red HP and about to go down to, say, burn or poison or something like that, you can use it to give it a couple extra turns to try catching it. Not exactly the best in an attacker, but it is a bit of a utility Pokemon. The other Pokemon we can encounter is Seal. This is a bit of an underwhelming Pokemon in my opinion, in that we have access to Lapras right now. Well, we can get Lapras even beforehand, and Lapras is basically just a better stat version of Seal. To my knowledge, none of Seal and its evolved form Dugong's stats exceed that of Lapras, in addition to having the exact same type combination. Whereas Seal, you have to get to level 35 before it evolves, and starting out as a pure water type, Dugong is water ice. So it is kind of just a smaller version of Lapras. Again, I'd go with Lapras over Dugong, just because it's immediately useful from the get-go, you don't have to level it up. But there is one thing that Dugong does have over Lapras. That is much faster access to the one-hit KO move, Sheer Cold. When Lapras gets Sheer Cold is much later in the levels. when Seal gets it is as a Dugong, the second it evolves at level 34. Pretty good, honestly. It does not terrible damage, though again Lapras is better than it, but if you want to use Sheer Cold user that gets Sheer Cold early on, it's pretty fun, and Dugong is also one of the few natural learners of the move Dive. We're going to be seeing Dive for a while, and in fact, not many Pokemon learn it through level up, but rather learn it via move tutor or egg moves. If you want to get it from egg moves, there are some Pokemon it can pass Dive onto, to my knowledge, though others it can't, and if you're using, say, a Totodile and you want Dive on it, I'd recommend just waiting until the end of the game, or just teach it Waterfall. Wait until the end of the game when we get access to that move tutor, or just teach it Waterfall if you want a physical water move. There we go. Now, we have reached Route 48, where we can go over Girafarig. This is a bit of an interesting Psychic-type Pokemon. Its normal subtyping gives it an immunity to Ghost, however, it's still weak to both Bug and Dark. Can't really deal with either of those problems, though it is a fairly interesting type combination. It does take more damage from fighting than other Psychic types do, and its immunity to Ghost would have been helpful had we gotten it prior to Morty. Oh crap, that Farfetch'd a lot of damage. Prior to the fight with Morty, this would have been an extremely useful Pokemon. The immunity to Shadow Ball, which is one of their most damaging moves that Morty's team has, would be so helpful on a Pokemon that can use stab psychic moves. I mean, Togepi and Togetic do good damage against it as a substitute, but Girafarig would have been good. It's got good special and physical attack, but it does have some low defenses that leave a bit to be desired, and if you want a good special attacker, again, go with Alakazam. Another Pokemon we can encounter is Diglett. This is similar in playstyle and stats to Persian, only I would say it's slightly better. It gets type effectiveness on its same type attack bonus, being ground, and good physical ground moves. It gets Magnitude, which is random power every turn, and it also gets Earthquake by level up. It doesn't get it too terribly late in the game, too, so you can actually have a good Earthquake user. And on top of that, it's speed. Extremely fast 120, likely is going to outspeed almost anything you encounter, and really give it a lot of problems. Slash and Night Slash also do a lot of good damage as well. It's a good option to use if you want a fast ground type. It does play a bit differently, though you'll have to watch out for priority moves. Its HP is extremely low, as is its defenses. Could be fun. It also has a slight chance of falling to soft sand when encountered. Well, that's all we have in terms of the wild encounters, and why is this Girafarig just using agility? I mean, it's not like it knows any move that do damage the higher speed. I mean, Electro Ball hasn't been invented yet. And it feels so good to be able to use a fire special attack on Firestorm. Gain experience, level up. Yeah, it's so strange not using Callion anymore. I used it so long and it's like, okay, Callion, you're kind of out of the spotlight now. It's a bit sad in my opinion. Alright, we have reached the Safari Zone gate. I think we could use a bit more. The Safari Zone is huge. I am going to leave the Safari Zone to its own special episode just because there's a lot to go over here, and I do want to go over it pretty in-depth because there are some pretty helpful Pokemon here. This time, we're going to be venturing into the Safari Zone. Also, just let me preface this video with... Actually, get after this. Hi, I've been waiting for you. What do you think? It's a brand new Safari Zone, by the way. I just had an idea. How would you like to take the owner aptitude test? So, we're going to become... A 10-year-old is going to become the owner of a game preserve. I like it! Now, let me explain how it works. It's very easy. All you have to do is catch one Geodude from the Safari Zone and show it to me. And close to the entrance, shouldn't take too long before you catch one. Good luck. So, this episode is going to be mostly bios. There's a very large number of new Pokemon to go over in the Safari Zone, so I might actually just rapid fire blast through most of them later on, just because there's a lot of them. And if I was just basically spend, even a minute and a half or even 30 seconds just talking about them, it would drag on a lot. You can roam the wide open Safari Zone and catch whatever you like. Would you like to play? Most definitely. That'll be $500, please. Here are your Safari Balls. Received 30 Safari Balls. And this is a mechanic a lot of people either love or hate. Personally, I like the idea of it, I just think it was executed horribly. We'll be getting into that in a little bit. Or well, a little bit for you, a long time for me. Hope you enjoy it, good, and have fun. Well, go and have fun. Safari Balls. I'm gonna go over their stats as soon as we catch them, but as soon as we get into a battle. I said as soon as we get into a battle. There we go. Alright, let's see. Level 15 Geodude. As you may notice, our Pokemon doesn't come out. We cannot battle these. So, we have 30 Safari Balls. If I'm not mistaken, Safari Balls are identical to Great Balls. You have to catch Pokemon that are level 15 and sometimes a little bit higher that can run away from you without being able to weaken them. You have Bait, which makes them stay, which makes them more likely to stay but harder to catch, and you have I believe it is a Rock or Mud. It kind of varies depending on which game you're in. Yeah, Mud. Which will make them more likely to be caught, but more likely to flee. This is not a mechanic I am too particularly fond of. Mostly because you can find a really rare Pokemon in the Safari Zone, and it can run away. I know people who have found shiny Pokemon in the Safari Zone, and they have fled. Yes, it haunts their nightmares. Yes, it's the worst thing that can ever happen to you, aside from maybe getting... It's worse than getting into a double battle in Generation 5 with 2 shinies, because at least then, you're going to catch one of them. It's never happened to me personally, but I know people who it has happened to. This is a person who was a shiny hunter, and having a shiny run on them was probably the most soul-crushing thing ever. Okay, I love how we ran into a Geodude, and it shook 3 times, and then escaped, and now we're just running into a whole bunch of other Pokemon that are not Geodude. Safari Zone, why do you hate me? Magneton. There's a lot of Pokemon you can catch, as we can see. There's a lot of Pokemon. Let's just catch one. I might as well just cut this out. What the heck? What is this? I don't... Can catch a level 17 Magneton, but I can't catch a level 15 Geodude. Woo! Oh good, finally caught it. Actually wasn't even looking just because I was expecting it to break out. Right, Geodude's caught. Add to the Pokedex. Now, I'm going to be cutting away here just to go catch another Pokemon in the Safari Zone I actually want to get. Reason being, that Pokemon I want to go over last because the second I actually mention it, most people are going to go completely blind and tunnel vision and just not look at anything other Pokemon in the Safari Zone. There are a lot of great Pokemon in the Safari Zone. The Pokemon I am going to be getting is the hardest one to train, and I do not recommend going for it first. I recommend waiting till you see all the Pokemon Safari Zone has to offer, then looking at this Pokemon, which is why I'm going over it last. I know personally when I saw this Pokemon was in the Safari Zone, I looked at nothing else in the Safari Zone. Don't recommend you do that, so I'm going over it last. See you guys after this next cut, because I'm bad at transitions. Actually, I decided to make a quick stop and get on with the next part of the Safari Zone's whole thing. You have to catch the Geodude and show it to the guy. Unfortunately, because I caught that Magnemite, I have to go to the PC and get out that Geodude. You can catch up to 30 Pokemon if you're lucky. Alright, Magna pull and... Alright. No, don't have any health items. Dang. I was kind of hoping one of those, the Magnemite or the Magneton would have had a metal coat. Kind of hoping, but didn't expect it. It's 5% chance, of course. So, get the Geodude, and we'll go see Warden Boba Fett, as I call him. Also, if you have a free spot in your party, the Geodude will just go straight there, and I recommend doing that. Oh, wonderful, you caught a Geodude. You've passed the first test. Huh? Didn't I tell you that there were two tests? I actually wasn't supposed to say there were 2 tests, mostly because I actually played this a little bit before, just to remember how the whole Safari Zone worked. Because there's one thing about this mechanic I actually don't like and kind of made me a bit mad. I'll be going over that in a little bit. 2 tests, right. To become the owner is not easy. Second test is, well, I'm preparing for it. So really there was only 1 test. The second test is still being written. Presumably. Okay. Sorry about that. So he's going to be calling us on the Pokegear when we get the second test, when the second test is ready to be given to us. So I'm going to just go over some of the Pokemon in the Safari Zone, mostly because there's a lot of them. That's kind of redundant. Redundancy! Yay, I am an idiot. Alright. Yes, another 500 points. It costs 500 points every time you go here and you get 30 Safari Balls. Not exactly the biggest fan of how much it is, because this is complete RNG. You can get very lucky and very unlucky with it. So you can realistically dump a heck of a lot of money into trying to catch some Pokemon. You're actually not into trying to catch some Pokemon. You actually won't. It's an interesting idea, and I mean, this Johto Safari Zone is an interesting idea. I like what they did with it. We aren't going to be able to see what makes the Safari Zone interesting until a bit later, but I really like what they did with it, and unfortunately, they kind of messed a couple of things up in the process of doing that. Well, I actually am gonna just... Okay, where the heck is this place I have to find? No. Yeah. The way the Johto Safari Zone works is it's divided into several areas, each having their own unique biome where different Pokemon live. Again, it's very clever, very interesting. The only problem is there are certain ones you can and cannot go to yet. Alright. Well, it seems one of the areas I was going to go over is not here. I don't know if it's random or not, so we'll just move on to the next one. The one I know is here. And backtracking! Yes, and this one. Alright. In the Savannah area of the Johto Safari Zone, we have multiple new Pokemon. The big one, actually not multiple new Pokemon, we actually only have, what is it, 1? Yeah, we only have 1 new Pokemon. But this is a pretty good one. Rhyhorn. Dang, I was hoping that'd be in Rhyhorn right there. Rhyhorn is a grass, not grass, no, it's a double weak to grass. Just restart. Just cut this out. Right on. Rhyhorn is an interesting Pokemon in that its stats at first aren't too impressive. However, after evolving at level 42, it becomes an extremely hard physical attacker and defender with the great rock and ground type. It benefits from learning Earthquake from level up and also getting some pretty good ground moves. Pretty good rock moves. It actually does get Dig by TM if you manage to hold on to that TM for this long, even though it really hasn't been that long since we got it. But after learning Earthquake at level 49, if you hold back evolving, which I do recommend doing as most Pokemon in this game, because it's not like the level gap from when it starts to evolve to when it actually evolves if you teach it. From the level it learns Earthquake, geez, I cannot speak. It's not like that gap is too huge, like, say, with the starters and a couple of other Pokemon where they learn moves that are really, really good that are level 40, and they evolve in the 30s. So if you hold back your Rhyhorn from evolving for just 7 levels, get to know Earthquake, it's going to be doing a heck of a lot of damage with that great physical attack stat, and it can take some physical hits well with its good physical defense. It's a big problem. Terrible special stats. It's double weakness to grass and water, plus those low special stats make it pretty likely to get one shot by even something like Water Gun, because it's so bad in special effects. You don't have the ability to evolve it into Rhyperior yet, so we're not going to be going over that. Alright,